Great. We would like to explore some contemporary style landscape together, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I need a coach. That's what I need.
You want to start painting first or talk first?
Well, I want to show you what I've been doing for the past hour.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to move the camera. Let's see if you can see that.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's based loosely on one of the Brushwork paintings in the book that you gave me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Very. It has your own signature style brush stroke, but it does look very Baoshi to begin with. Yeah. Great.
I realized when I was starting to have fun was when I was saying, no, I'm not quite doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I've got to let it go with who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the right way. You absorb only the part suitable for yourself, for your personality. You don't have to duplicate others' signature style.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
now let's see if I can get that.
Great. So you said you have some questions to ask?
Yeah. This one I did on, it's a single shrine. Of course, it's a wonderful paper of which I have about 2 sheets and I have no idea where it came from years ago, one of those. But I was wondering, it looked like in many of the paintings, Baoshi is using mulberry.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I thought so. And would he use long fiber or short fiber?
It doesn't matter. I think probably short fiber, but he could also use long fiber. I think.
He could paint on anything.
Yeah. I think mulberry is his favorite. At the time he used Wenzhou, but the Wenzhou paper in the past is not machine made Wenzhou these days. Yeah, I have touched some paper in his museum. He used old heavyweight Shuan paper from the Qing dynasty. The last painting he painted left on the wall was that. But he also used a single Shuan, double Shuan, that kind of regular paper. So you can almost tell from his painting the paper are different. It could be very different from one to the other. I have 2 books just to show you. This is a research book on his technique done by his the museum curator, and this is an old book. Other than the book you have, this is a book also I have just in case I need some samples. So
I love his waterfalls where I'm so used to looking at images on Facebook by the Taiwanese painters, modern, contemporary painters, who are very accurate, realistic with the way they do their water.
Yeah.
And Baoshi just goes, woohoo!
Yeah, I think that's very different. But yeah, his style has a very strong influence in Taiwan also. One of the book called the 200 Best Paintings collection. The preface was written by a Taiwanese curator. That's his favorite 200. So he studied Baoshi in Taiwan as a historian. He himself is a contemporary artist, also very abstract landscape artist, and he likes Baoshi. He's He Huaishuo, I think. I mean, Baoshi has a very large follower in both sides of the stripe, Taiwan and the mainland.
What is the painting I see over your shoulder? I see a
Yeah, okay, this painting I try to show you. This is one of my small football shoes that I like. My friend says it has past football shoes, maybe newer football shoe. Maybe can you see it? Let me see.
Yes, I can. It's lovely.
Let me see. The right angle has to be.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
good.
it.
It's a little scroll. Not too big. It's about 14 by 9 or something, 4 or 10.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, that's small.
yeah, what I did was I used the split brush. I'll show you later. And then after it dries, you washed. Basically, I try to get the feeling more than the images. There's no concern of the real mountain trees, but it looks like a mountain at least. And there's there's three grounds, the foreground, so this is an example. I try to do it according to the curator of the museum, the Baoshi Museum. He does this step at 50% of what he tried to express and stop. So he end up with a pile of unfinished work. And his family never need tissue paper. They just use abandoned paper. So some of those initial preliminary, you may say sketches, but brush sketches, right? Painting, but it will not be finished. But some he think there's a potential of value to work, so he'll keep. So he left a large quantity of unfinished work. But this one I consider finished because I then add a little color, a little like indigo gray and some brown, some brown color, but basically light washes. But I try not to define this, like a tree or rock. It could be, it could be still subject to the viewer's interpretation. But it just I have the inspiration like the marble landscape, like the natural pattern in the marble countertop. In Chinese furniture they always frame it, look like a natural landscape.
That's right. It looks like a landscape. Yeah.
But there's no tree trunk but I do have more detail than the marble. But I try to do something in between the natural pattern and some descriptive, scenery kind of. But it could be a river in the back or cloud, but it's misty mostly in the foreground. So the Fubashi style, he has a procedure, but not always he follows the same procedure. He starts with either dark or light, I think. Yeah, this one I studied medium, added dark and light. But you can also start from atmospheric wash instead of the outline. So you don't have to work on the outline first. It could be very atmospheric to begin with. Yeah. So, but when you wash, you still have the brush sense of brush movement, stroke. Yeah. So not like a lot of this wet wash. I think I may have dampened the paper. I forgot. It could be a lot of water and in the brush and just do wetting to wet. Let me put this back so you can see. Okay, so your question is about the paper, right? So my answer is he used good paper, some antique paper, some very, but his favorite is I think he learned from Japan maybe the mulberry paper to use is his favorite paper. Yeah, it's strong. Another thing you might want to note, according to the book I read, study of his techniques, and from other articles maybe. He do not use heavy felt. He used just maybe newspaper under the painting, because he used the brush very, we call it stippling, right? It could be stippling like
stippling, yeah.
Stippling, yeah. Yeah. So the brush is used like this. If the paper is on a soft padding, it might poke a hole. So, but it is solid, just table.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Right.
So you just use because the paper he used might be non-absorbent as well as or semi-absorbent. So
Right.
the paper underneath is a newspaper, the newsprint, that kind of thing. You don't have to use felt because it will not penetrate through.
Right.
It will not stick on the table. So this is the paper about paper. Yeah. He used no heavy felt. You can, if you use a felt, if you can, like if you put a felt underneath, it was, well, you can still do it. Many people still can do it. But if you keep doing this, it might poke a hole. It makes holes easily. Yeah, on the wet part. Yeah.
Right.
So if you just use a plexiglass or something, if you don't want to stain your table, you can also do that without any paper.
Right. Yeah. I usually paint on an easel because it's easier for me to see my composition.
Yeah.
But I could put paper on the easel.
Yeah, you can put just a drawing paper on the easel to prevent it from staining the easel. Yeah. So I think you have maybe a question on the brush, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here are some brushes I use for Baoshi style. Basically there's no requirement for good brush, but he according to a researcher, I interviewed the curator of his museum. He said he used good brush, brand new brush to paint the spritz brush technique, but it may destroy the new brush though. So I prefer just save any unwanted brushes. Like this brush has been with me for more than 50 years maybe now. It's from my primary school.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I had some. I used to get the strings all decayed. I used some metal string maybe to just binding. You can binding some small brushes together to create this stencil effect. It's it's perfect. I did my biggest landscape in high school, the Yangtze River Bridge with this brush. This is what I use for the tree dots. And you can buy a brush like this. We sell a stencil brush. This I think it was with me here moments ago. So anyway, you have this kind of stippling brush if you want, but you can also use old brush and you can cut it short and just leave some hair like this for the trees. Well, for the rocks, okay, let me go through it. If you use a new brush, you can also have the way he used brush is more important than the brush itself. So this brush is a good brush. It's almost a new brush. It's my raccoon brush. So traditionally, people use only the tip of the brush, like you write the calligraphy, right? You hold the brush straight and keep the tip centered. This is what we call the tip concealed stroke or tip centered stroke. You can draw lines like that. But you can also pull the brush, like you do an orchid leaf. You drag the brush instead of holding it straight. But if you hold it straight, is the most preferred way traditionally as correct calligraphy. But Baoshi used the brush not only the tip but also the heel and something between. So he used the brush in a very rapid way. So every in all the angles, maybe like this,
Right.
so in a rough way. So his brush will become split, and he will use a little part of the brush to do details, maybe a branch or something, and he use the heel of the brush maybe do the texture. So in one stroke, it has all the parts, like that. So that's what the way he used a new brush.
Right.
And yeah, you can push the so the brush tip is not behind the movement of the stroke, but in the front, which we call like a plowing, pushing or stabbing, like that. So it gives a rough, and it will split. But the good brush will turn back, and he keeps just doing something like that. Okay. So the brush stroke is more important. So I use a brand new brush, create the same effect. You don't have to cut. That's my point. You don't have to cut a new brush. Yeah. But I although I do have some brushes cut for fun, just if you prefer.
Right. Yes.
And there's some found brushes you can use like a non-brush, like a feather here. And I have some students from Mexico brought some kind of grass dried they use for maybe knitting or something, some kind of fabric or split bamboo or reed or whatever. So it could be I also cut the brush in different ways, like this sideways. So I leave the side of the brush, so you can do very. Yeah, let me show you. This is a fun brush. So you can do lines with this tip, and you can, if you use the rough side, you can have a very dramatic change in one stroke, like from very tiny, very little line and to that. So that I have, you can do this, So this is a. I think it was just a soft combination brush. I cut off almost most of it. Just leave one on the side, not the middle. So you can just be very creative.
Right. The brush I used to do the painting this afternoon is this one, and that's the sort of the brush that I like.
Long stick, yeah, that's good. Long bristle one. Yeah, I have something like that. So just remember you use the heel of the brush also.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And you push the brush, and it will get split like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to watch you paint next.
Okay. That's great. So I've got a piece of it's your mulberry,
Mm-hmm.
and there doesn't seem to be much of a difference. One side might be slightly smoother than the other. Which side would you normally paint on? Or
The smooth side.
The smooth side.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Professor Chu usually did his landscapes on single shran, and he would paint on the landscapes on the rough side, so that when he turned them over to do the wash, he had the smooth side for the wash. That was the way he
The
did
final side is the rough side. The final show side, would that be the rough side? I think the rough side had the brush trace, which I don't like.
The rough, it looks rougher.
Yeah, the rough. It's not just the rough. They have this kind of when they post it on the drying wall, they use the palm fiber brush to create a lot of brush traces, which is kind of destructive. Yeah. it's
Yeah.
not, the rough side is not just rough, it has the strokes on it.
Right.
If you like it, it's okay, but yeah, I think it's not a big deal. Sometimes I made a mistake, I just keep it that side, working with the rough side. So it's not as very different surface on the rice paper. Maybe mulberry paper makes it even more different.
Right.
Yeah, I also have the a sheet with me just in case I need to show you something.
Okay.
So you're working on vertical. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have to.
Yeah, that's okay. But later you might want to put on level the surface when you try to get the misty wash, because the best is let the water has a movement on the flat surface. Even I do watercolor, I prefer to do it on the level. But you can start the composition vertically with dry brush, no problem.
Okay, so do you want to tell me what to do?
You can just let me see. You can paint a landscape maybe with a waterfall. Okay. Yeah. You can start when you paint the waterfall. You don't do the waterfall, but do the rock to squeeze out the fall. Yeah. So the mouth of the waterfall is the first thing I would consider. It could be not in the middle, definitely. Right? It could be on the a focal point of your composition. Yeah, anyway, and you can have three or two at least falls in different distance. So you can do let's just do the middle ground. Don't worry about the foreground. Just do the mouth of the fall. You can start anyway. Just squeeze out the water.
Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. I try to copy yours. Yeah, I think at beginning you need to worry about the whole piece of the composition, not concentrate on the details yet. Yeah, just keep it doing what you have. So that's good. You use the brush in a rough way. Just yeah, I think you always do very good at the initial stage. That's good.
Yeah,
So far.
it's when I get into detail that I
Yeah.
I try to explain too much.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see you have a division of the water already. That's good. So one side is wider than the other. It's very good that you your lower fall is a little to the left, not straight behind below the first one. Yeah. Yeah, these trees keep them small because it's
Yeah.
keep it light. Water.
Oh, that's not water. That's.
Oh yeah.
I'm bringing in some more water here.
Yeah. Usually, that layer could be done with much less texture. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Bring the water from here. Here. What do you think? I have the choice now to bring the water in from here or from here.
I think can you make you can have two, like this. I'm showing you the book. I'm holding a book. The distant waterfall could be like you have a rock in the middle. You can have water from left and right.
Okay.
Yeah, just can you see this book?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Light,
Yeah.
yeah. That middle is a rock, and then you squeeze out. There are many small streams with rock in the light ink for the. Can you see that? Yeah. So that's the, and you can consider three rocks a group, like one big, two, big, small, and middle, to try to group them in a to alternate them. Yeah. When you do you can start squeeze out the two sides, and then the middle has a lot of water rock in the water. You can do the little round rock later, but just define the course of the fall first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way we're going here. I don't want to make it even.
Yeah, I think you can make let me show you here. I try to make it like this is more straight, this is a little wider, maybe just different. You can just make try to make the two sides a little different. it's very good, very good. You can make a. I think you did some like a little rock on the above the moss of the fall, just like that. On the side. Don't use the bottom. Just use the tip of the brush. The rounded rock. You see this dark dots. This. This dots. You see, this is the sequence he will do. He will do this dark first, and then the light. So you cannot give a structure first with the dark rock, and then you can add the water. Can you see it? You see the two sides. This comes first, and this is the finished fall. So you can but you don't have to worry about your just the rock on the above the fall is it's a kind of rounded, so you have to. We have a Chinese character called ping. It's like 3 squares. That's the idea. You kind of like you put the 2 on top, maybe 1 or opposite. So it's a like triangle. Triangle. You can have one big, one small also. One big or one small. That kind of grouping. I think it's important.
Okay. Are you thinking of the grouping? Because this little waterfall here is fairly diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have round.
Okay. The point is you need to show some part of the fall between the 2 falls. There's like a flat stream in between. So I noticed that in the early painting you showed, the fall has no. It's like a step between 2 steps. There's a flat surface. You try to have several steps. You know what I mean? You can have the fall. You can, if you could, you can just you can make a little steps between the 2 falls. You know what I mean? This is the idea. So it has the horizontal kind of lines indicate a little steps. This is a big step, a big jump. You know, like a big fall. But before that, there's a flat. You can even paint a horizontal line behind. But I let me see. This line, you know, like here in this book, is like a turning. Maybe you can have this Z kind of. This is S or Z behind the trees. But if you could still add that. But this is the typical way that they do this.
Right.
It's like a river above the fall, right? So you do the river, a little bit Z, kind of. You can wait it dry to do it. Just keep doing what you used to do. Yeah.
To me, there isn't a flat area there. It's more of a slope down, and then
you tend to do the slope kind of just a slope. What you do is try to make the water fall into steps. You know what I mean? If I use this water, I can maybe show that. So I imagine the fall is like steps, like like steps. So they comes in like you know what I mean. So there's a vertical part. This is the and then there's a flat. If you see the flat, it could be on top. Maybe there's something like that, right? So this part is more leveled. So this is maybe I should shade the side. So this part in between the steps is more leveled. This is vertical. So this is the idea. So when the fall goes, it's good to go just like a more straight down, right? Like you did to the top fall, yeah. But with this lower part could be with an angle, a diagonal. So this is more like a smoother fall. So that's the idea. So you can create this, try to create the feel of the steps with the. Let me try to show you here. So I will define that little foot of the bank, you know, like that, yeah. So it gives a sense of it. You can define this side also. And you can have the little horizontal lines, that kind of thing. I think you can have clouds or mist between the two, so you don't have to connect the two sides. Yeah. And then the upper one has this a big division, and then some little ones, something like that. I think it got too dark. Anyway, just illustrate the idea. So there are lots of little rocks in his in Baoshi's waterfall, and there's, you know, they don't have to be just equal. So this side could be more like we did with more rabbits, not too many rocks. But some part could be. Okay, I think another thing is when I try to do this, I may keep doing everything very fast. So before it gets dry, I start washing. That's why you get more of a mist feel. So just keep moving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be gonna be painting. You know, the detail of the style. Yeah. So we want to start washing before it gets too dry.
My trees up here are too big.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing too big. Yeah, you can keep working on that. On the lower part, maybe.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my trees smaller.
Okay. You see, I started to do the trees underneath. Just give you some suggestion, but just keep it not too high, I would say, because you want to keep the white between the two layers.
Might even be able to make this into a tree.
Yeah, you can just do a little bit tree top, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't have to do the trunk. Yeah. Just the little dots will be fine.
Yeah, my problem was that this rock went a bit high.
Okay, yeah, that's try to solve that. You can make make that into a rock. So just keep a maybe do another fall on the left, so you can make just into a rock in between the two falls. You know, you can just make a big rock in between the. So you can have more falls on the other side of the rock. I mean, would that work? Yeah, just maybe something like that. So you can just make it that standing out like a rock. Yeah. So you can add little rocks on the other side, but make it gradually disappear maybe in the mist. So this is the farther bank. This is the closer, the foreground. Yeah. Can you still see me? I tend lost.
Yeah,
check.
well, I could see your painting.
Oh, good. Okay. I cannot see my painting for some reason again. Let me see. I clicked something. No.
Can you not see a little image of your painting up in the corner?
Let's see. I don't know what I did. Yeah, just keep working. I try to figure out this technical issue here.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
Not share screen. It won't change. I think I made a mistake. I cannot see your painting anymore. It just something blocked. Let me see what this is. I really don't know what happens. It's a share screen. You keep working.
Okay, you don't want to have share screen. Click off share.
Oh, it's off. Right. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, I can see it. Right now. You can see me now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you're on share screen. So what I'm seeing is what's on your screen, which is me.
Oh.
So
Sorry.
click share screen again, and that'll go away.
What? Let me see. I clicked on share screen. What? I don't know what I did. Let me see. Sorry, I just messed up. Let me see. I think turn video off.
Don't turn the video off.
Show. Where's the share screen thing?
So click. You've got two squares overlapping.
Yeah.
That's the share screen. Click on that again.
Click on. Yeah, I don't see that. Anywhere. Let me see. Can you see where's the?
Okay. Yeah, I can see it on your screen. It's right here. Which you probably can't see. On the next to the heart, then there's the yeah. Okay, you see where the heart is on the right hand side? Okay. To the left of that is snapshot.
Oh.
You don't want that. To the left of that.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay.
Wow, we're all over the place.
Sorry. Okay. So you're okay. You made that into a rock rising from the water. Okay. Then you can have.
Unfortunately, because I've got longer lines going down, I don't think I can do what you've done.
Oh, I see. Okay, we can adjust to that by let me see. You can make a trail in between the two rocks instead of a waterfall. How about that? You can make just a trail in between the rock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you can just make it that into steps or something like a.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
So you don't have to make that into a waterfall. Just to make the lower part with with a tree and a trail. Just do one fall instead of two falls. Yeah.
I remember these stairs.
Stairs, yeah, steps or stairs, yeah. when you climb the Huangshan or the Chinese.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do steps. Just a little horizontal line suggesting the steps.
Yeah. Can you see that what I've done?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Just keep it short, narrow, not like a highway. Just
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. You got it. You fixed that. Yeah.
So should I keep? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yes. You can just look at the big picture. See if what this is okay. I think you solved it. Solved the issue with that long stroke.
Yeah.
Okay, just yeah, you don't have to worry about any waterfall down the painting. Don't worry about it. Just do one fall. Yeah, just
Right.
keep concentrating on it.
It's not a waterfall around there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put that back on and okay, and yeah. So this is going to become tree or foliage or something.
Yeah. Very good. I think you're doing perfect.
I think I'm doing a mess, but
Yeah, just do whatever.
God, what a mess. Whew. That's blocked out.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you're doing.
Oh, I think I didn't do well on the whole composition. So yours is still good because I messed all the space. So this part I think it's blocked also. So yours is better. I just try experiment. So you don't. I tried to create something that you want to avoid. Don't follow me. I think it's good to keep the space behind the top trees. I messed up this here. That's good.
Right. Yeah, your trees are much smaller and that's a much better.
But it's okay. It's okay. Everything's good. I think I'm getting.
How about this as an idea?
Uh-huh.
Here I put this little tree on the top, but I could make this line into a big branch coming off the side.
I think everything looks fine to me now. Don't make the tree too big.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep the space above the tree. That's very good. Yeah, I think yeah. Just do a little wash to indicate some fall behind that rock.
Okay.
Maybe a little shading. Just bring the left the right side. Yeah, just to soften that foot. That it's like this. I'm doing a little bit experiment here. Maybe just like you have a rock because your rock is more solid, right? Just use consider it's a second layer right behind this rock. Just use some gray to soften that. Above that, just under that top cliff, you can do a little stroke. Just yeah. Okay, you can use dry brush actually. Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to turn the fire down. We're cold here. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
going to turn the fire down.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just try to. Yeah, that's good. I think it's good to you go with water first. Yeah. But usually I do the dry brush before I apply water. But before the dry brush gets dry, I use water. That gives the light wash some structure. Yeah, you see.
You say dry brush, you mean you've got a little bit of grey? Or
Yeah, a little bit gray. Dry brush gray, and then clean water to make the clouds. To make the mist, the mist. Yeah. So this is what I just did this part. You can see this part.
Yeah.
Dry brush and then water. It's the water. It will disappear when it dries, but that gives the dry brush some moisture. It looks like mist. Yeah. Just use dry brush, split brush. Stabbing or stippling. Just create the texture, and then you can add clean water to.
Do you ever use a mister?
Mister? Oh, I don't use. I never. I could use, but I don't have it here.
But you don't. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can use it because yeah, you can spray the white part with the mister with the sprayer. Then yeah, I would do the dry brush, yeah, just like you're doing, and then yeah, then you can spray water, or I would use brush always. I think brush is preferred. It gives more chi than the yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want more chi.
Yeah.
So behind these trees up here.
Yeah.
A bit of grey.
I think I like that open space.
Okay.
So don't block that. I blocked it so you can see what happens if you block it here. This.
Okay.
But the reason I try to block it is because I want to squeeze out this form more, so I kind of gray everything behind. That's the only reason if you want to do that. But I think you have a very good white fall in the front. You don't have to gray this part.